Hi, my name is Umair, and let's talk about compounding. What is compounding? Can it really turn 10 into 1,000 into 100,000, or maybe a million? Is it the secret behind the immense success of the Oracle of Omaha, the great Warren Buffett? The mad, strange looking genius Einstein once said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. What does he mean by that? Are there assets that compound over time and turn into a snowball? What is the snowball effect? Is it something that only the rich understand and not the poor? Is that why rich become richer and the poor become poorer? Is it only something that we can apply to financial concepts, or there's more to it? Let's dive into it and unleash the power of compounding. Three, two, one. If you want to put concept of compounding in that thick skull of yours, read the story about this guy, Ronald Reed. Who was Ronald Reed? He was a gas attendant and a janitor in Vermont. You see him, you will think about charity. Now, you may be wondering what is so special about this guy. What is intriguing is that when he died, everyone was shocked to find out that he left behind $8 whole million. Now, the big question is how in the hell did a janitor pull it off? Let me show you. Mr. Ronald Reed. I certainly have more respect for him. He did some very amazing things. First of all, he was extremely frugal. In fact, he was so frugal that he gave Warren Buffett a run for his money. Old car, torn clothes, no desire for any material stuff that we drool over. I'm sure if he earned $50 in a week, he probably invested $40 out of it, said his friend and neighbor, according to CNBC. Point and focus, boys and girls, spend less than you earn. Second thing, which Sir Ronald Reed did was invest. After Wall Street Journal analyzed his personal portfolio, they found that this simple man invested in underlooked and undervalued companies like Wells Fargo, Procter and Gamble, Colgate Palmolive. Ring some bells? Some of these positions have also been part of Buffett's portfolio. He held his position for several years, if not decades. Now, the third action which helped him in his unbelievable feat was longevity and inaction. Yes, you heard that right. He did not touch his portfolio, did not check the markets every day, did not have an itch to do something just for the sake of doing something because he was getting bored. Just like Warren Buffett, he lived long until 92 and made out the most, working through and living longer than average. 90% of Warren Buffett's wealth was also generated after he turned 60. Time, discipline, and patience. If he had retired early, no one would have heard about Warren Buffett or Ronald Reed. The power of compounding is magnified over time. No one can control their life, time on this greedy planet, but we can start early, identifying good investments and staying in as long as possible. So, what the hell is this compounding and how does it work? Compounding is the process whereby interest is credited to an existing principal amount as well as to interest already paid. Compounding thus can be construed as interest on interest, the effect of which is to magnify returns to interest over time, the so-called miracle of compounding. In contrast, simple interest works in a linear fashion. You invest $1,000 and if the interest rate is 15%, you earn $150 every year. But when you bring compounding in the picture, first year you will earn $150. The next year is when the magic happens. You now make 15% on principal as well as on the interest, and the cycle continues, and your money doubles in just 5 years. If you are like me, who does not understand fancy definitions, let me try and explain in other terms. Have you heard about Genghis Khan? He might be your great great grandfather. He is estimated to have fathered around 1,000 to 3,000 children. A 2003 study estimated that 16 million people alive at that date were direct descendants of Genghis Khan. Imagine what would that number be today if all those people were working towards one purpose. What a force of nature it would be. That is compounding for you folks. You put little money to work, they make love, they make more babies, and then those babies make more babies, all working hard to make you richer every day. This is the secret of the rich. They invest in good assets that compound over time, provide them with cash flow, appreciate in value over time, outpacing inflation, working 24/7 and helping them make more assets. Anyways, enough of the storytelling. Let's look at some formula and the numbers. The formula of compounding is principal into 1 plus rate raised to the power of n, which is the period. Let's see how this formula works in the example we saw earlier. $1,000 would become 2011 in 5 years, as we calculated earlier. Let's take an example of Ali, who has $10,000 to invest. Let's say he invests for 30 years at the rate of 8%, which is not extraordinary given that S&P, aka stock market, has been making an average return of 8 to 12% for the past 100 years or so. His $10,000 would turn into $100,000 almost without moving a finger and not investing a penny extra. Want to see something interesting? Let's look at this unbelievable return of 906%. What is even more interesting is this. Time to double in the first cycle takes 9 years, but the second cycle of doubling takes only 4 years and some. Third cycle, 3 years and some. This is what is called the snowball effect, that over time, ball gets rolling and gets bigger, faster and faster. So if you want to be a millionaire in 30 years, this is the way for you folks. Easy peasy. People try so hard just to get a fraction of these profits. Adding a little twist to the mix. Now, Ali invests $10,000 but also contributes a simple $300 every month on top. Am I seeing $500,000? No way. What is this sorcery? This is compounding for you, my friends. Things to note, your additional contribution on top of $10,000 was only $108,000. How about we change the rate of interest for the first two examples? You see the difference from $100,000 to $175,000, and with additional contributions of $300 per month, almost $800,000. Ali was 35 when he invested, but he had two other friends who saw this video and followed him, Umar and Adam. But there is a small difference. Umar was 28 years and Adam was only 18. Let's see what their results are. Umar ends up with almost $1 million. But what about Adam? You will not believe Adam ends up with an amazing $2.1 million with just $10,000 initial investment and monthly contributions of $300. You can see that there are three main ingredients in the money-making machine of compounding. First is the principle, how much you invest, when you invest, frequency. Second is the rate of compounding. Higher the rate, greater the number. Even a slight change can dramatically change the results. And third is the time. That is why it is important to start as early as possible. Many of us are not that young, including myself, so we can either increase the principal that we invest or find something that has a higher rate of return. You should be able to understand these variables and should be good with the numbers to understand what you are investing in and what your goal is. This is where the rule of 72 comes in. If you want to run any investment in your head, if you want to invest in a company or a project and it gives you 7% return, just divide 72 by 7 and you will know that your principal will double in 10 years roughly. Vice versa. If you want your investment to double in 5 years, divide 72 by 5. It will be 14.4%. So you need to put your money somewhere that yields around 15%. It's all about numbers, folks. This formula works with compounding only. I am going to be the richest man in the world. Warren Buffett used to say this to his wife. She dealt this statement with humor and skepticism. Unfortunately, she died before he became the richest man in the world in 2008. Warren Buffett became a millionaire at the age of 30, a billionaire around 56. And after that, look how the magic of compounding works. Beautiful, isn't it? One example: Berkshire Hathaway began acquiring shares of Coca-Cola in 1988 and continued adding to its position until 1994, ultimately investing a total of $1.3 billion. Fast forward to 2024, and the company now owns 400 million shares of Coca-Cola, worth over $24.7 billion, earning 59.7% on its original investment, and receiving some small dividend of $750 million this year. Peanuts, isn't it? Property. This is average sales price of houses in US. If someone invested in property in 1980s, let's say around $60,000, from 2020 to 2022, his investment went up by 300%. If you give your investments time to grow, even a 10% increase in today's prices could be 100% increase in the value of your wealth. This is something which even I did not understand earlier and did not invest much in real estate. This explains why Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, who does not pays it. Compounding is a concept that not only works in the financial world, but if you focus a little deeper, it touches many aspects of your life. For instance, if you go gym regularly, you will start seeing amazing results over a period of time. If you eat healthy and clean, you will feel fit and healthy in your life for a very long time. You read books and learn every day, it will compound over many years, and you will be wiser than 99% of the people. Good habits compound over time. If you are a lawyer, doctor, engineer, your practice and your proficiency speaks for itself with years of experience under your belt. That is why the world values experience, and you get more valuable as you age with the number of cases you have worked, awards, and recognitions you have received. In the world of football, everybody knows Messi and Ronaldo. What everybody see is the perfect goal or the killer move, but nobody see that work that they put in, day out, waking up early in the middle of the night, practicing for hours, eating healthy, working out, discipline. Consistency is the key. James Clear says in his amazing book, Atomic Habits, if you can get 1% better each day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you're done. If you understand how it works and use the right strategies, you can reach your goals faster and more efficiently. Always remember to start early. Choose good investments to make sure they are helping you meet your goals. Having a bit of patience and discipline will do the trick. You can start harnessing the power of compounding interest today and take your wealth to the next level. As with all things in life, there are always two sides of the coin, the good and the bad. Same thing applies to compounding. There are problems with compounding which many people have no idea about. What if you invest in a company and that company goes belly up after 25 years when you are close to your retirement? Or you get excited with my video, you start investing today, believing in the power of compounding, dreaming that you will be a millionaire after 20, 30, or 40 years. But someone up there has other plans, and you meet your creator before you ever see your first million. I suggest you watch the video on the screen to understand the dark side of compounding and how to deal with it. There you have it. Did you find the video helpful? If you did, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you found the most helpful. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you next time. Adios.